Hi guys, welcome back. So glad to be with you. Today we are going to spend just a couple minutes talking about your spiritual rhythms. This is actually part 3 of a 3-part series designed for you to just take a couple minutes and think through what supports you the best. What can you do in your life? What do you have control over that really supports your body, your soul, and your spirit? It's part of the abundant life. It's learning your specific rhythm and then leaning into that, letting go of whatever works for anyone else and saying what works for me and how can I build a life that supports it. So today we're talking about possibly my favorite area, our spirit. So by spirit, I just mean the part of us that connects with God, the part of us, the truest part of us that is eternal and connects with Him. So what I want to do here is just think through, how do we build that relationship? You guys, your relationship with God is real. It's a relationship that takes time and energy and an intention. So what are you doing to build that, to support that? So start by just asking yourself, how do you connect with God? When was the last time you heard His voice or you felt His presence? What happens in your life that supports that? I believe you probably already know more than you think. And so what we're going to do here is just brainstorm a little and then think through what can you put in place to just lean into that a little more. I'll share with you, for me, I spend a lot of time in worship. I spend a lot of time soaking to music, praying and listening, reading the Bible to saturate my mind in truth instead of what the world is saying. I spend a lot of time listening to amazing podcasts and sermons. And it's necessary for me to be talking to my friends about what God is doing in my life, what I believe He's telling me, how I believe He's leading. It's also really important that I hear from my friends what He's doing in their lives. This helps me on days where maybe I'm feeling confused or having a hard time holding on to truth. It reminds me, my friends' stories are encouraging and can offer comfort to me, even if that's not my story in that particular day. So that was a really long list of things that don't happen every day in my life. But that's kind of my overview, my big pieces. So what I want you to do right now is start by just identifying your big pieces. We're going to talk about the win in a minute, but right now, just figure out what helps you connect with God. And maybe even prioritize it in your mind. What is the main thing? What is the second thing? All those things I mentioned and all the other things that come to your mind are great, but let's get really specific here. What would you say are the 2 biggest pieces to the puzzle of your relationship with God? Prayer, the Bible, listening to music, just identify them. What are the top 2? And then once you have them, let's talk through just really briefly about the when and how are you going to make that happen. Because as I say, there's a lot in life that isn't in your control. Maybe your schedule changes every day. Maybe you don't have a lot of time or you don't have the ability to do everything you wish you could do. I bet we could all say that. So instead of clinging to those things, let's just get really practical. Those 2 pieces that you identified, what is a way that you can build your life to fit those in? Maybe not every day, maybe not perfectly, maybe it's not going to be the same amount of time. That's all okay. Throw that aside and just ask yourself, what can you do to make sure those are a piece of your everyday life? Maybe it's getting up earlier than everyone in your house so that you can actually think straight. Maybe that's not helpful because you need all the sleep you can get. And maybe when you're, driving to work or in the carpool lane, you need to turn the radio off and you just need to pray. You just need to process with God. Whatever it is, I believe that He is going to help you and that He's really creative. So it doesn't have to look ideal. It doesn't have to look like you're alone in your home for 2 hours every day. But think through your 2 biggest pieces to the puzzle of how you connect with God, and then think through really practically, where in my day and how in my day can these things usually be there? Because the truth is, the more we fit in the pieces of our puzzle, be it in our body, our soul, or our spirit, the better we feel. The more we feel like ourselves and the more we're living the abundant life that we were made to feel. So throw aside all comparison, all things that haven't worked in the past, and just ask yourself and ask God, how can I fit these things into my life? Will you give me creative ideas, God? He totally will. And then commit to it. I think in my last video, I said, give it 7 days. Give this a real try. Give it 7 days and see how it feels. See how you feel in yourself and in connecting with God if you creatively make an effort to put those big pieces of your puzzle in your everyday life. And then let me know how it goes. Please ask any questions or comments below, like, share, subscribe, and let me know if you want to know more examples of how I support any of these areas in my own life. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you have a great day.